So I got offered to do season 2 of Netflix's Rhythm and Flow, hosted by Cardi B, Chance the Rapper, and T.I., and others. I'm gonna get into the details of this offer, okay? But I do wanna start off by saying I got nothing but love and respect for that whole show, all the contestants from last season, the producers of the show. I love this show because it really prides itself on authenticity, on realness, as opposed to a lot of other shows who are just trying to go for bullshit ratings, whatever, just shit to skyrocket their ratings, but they're not being authentic to it, they're not staying true to the art. This show's not like that. With that said, let me just get into this and break all this down to you guys, all right? This whole offer. So, as many of you know, this is a huge show on Netflix, massive show for rap, for hip hop. I've been getting so many comments for the past 6 months now from people saying, you gotta get on Rhythm and Flow. If you get on Rhythm and Flow, you would kill it. You would blow up. That's so much exposure. I've had close friends hit me up about it. It's been nonstop for 6 months now. Now, I've personally never watched the show. I have recently, but not before I got this offer. I just never seen it prior. I've seen clips on YouTube. I've seen clips on Instagram and Twitter. I know how big it is, but I've never actually sat there and watched it. But recently I got into it after I got this offer. I've been checking it out and it's incredible, right? Now, here's the thing. 6 months ago, I actually went on Google and I researched how to get on the show. Even though I had never watched it, I just wanted to see how I could get on it because I've been hearing so much about it. Didn't find anything. Crazy how the world works. 6 months later, the casting producer hits me up and says, hey, we want you on season 2. Now, to the average person, or to anybody really, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's huge. It's a lot of exposure. It's a lot of fame, all that stuff. But me being the guy I am with all this experience now underneath my belt, I look at the pros and the cons. And I like to look at the cons more than the pros because you always want to be safe, okay? Life teaches you things and you'd be a fool to not learn from your lessons. With that being said, I'm gonna get into this. In 2012, okay, this is something I never spoke about publicly. In 2012, I had one video on YouTube and it was called Stay the Best. And I got hit up by the casting producer from the show X Factor, which was huge at the time, saying, yo, I checked out your video. I want you on the show. You won't even have to go through the beginning audition process. You're gonna go straight to TV. You're gonna audition in front of the judges straight to TV, not the prior auditions. Basically because you're dope and we want you on the show. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna audition in front of L.A. Reid, who signed Kanye West. He signed the biggest of the big, Rihanna. He's whatever, right? Just massive artist. In front of Britney Spears, in front of Simon Cowell, unfortunately, and a few other people. So I was like, yo, this is dope. I'm gonna do it. Now, that whole thing was a 2-week process, right? From when I was going back and forth with them to where I actually auditioned. That 2 weeks was absolute hell. Hell. They were setting me up to fail, okay? No matter what, that whole show was trying to make me look bad. That's just what they do. Rhythm and Flow, I'm not saying they do this. They clearly don't, from what I've seen, what I heard. They have, a good reputation. But a lot of these shows, like American Idol, X Factor, all that shit, they want to make a lot of people look bad because embarrassing people on national television will bring them ratings. They don't give a fuck about you and what you've been through in your life and how it's going to make you feel. They just want to get ratings, right? It's some evil shit. So the whole 2 weeks is hell. I'm not going to sit there and explain to you guys every little detail that happened because I would be sitting here for 5 hours explaining it. But I am going to say in a nutshell, it was hell, right? A few things that they did do. So right when I was about to perform live, okay? It was at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, California, in front of 10,000 people, okay? Right when I'm about to perform live and go on stage, they told me I couldn't cuss. Mind you, I sent the lyrics to the producers prior. They all approved it, okay? Right when I'm about to go on a stage, they hand me the mic. They say, oh, all those cuss words, you can't use those. So now, me rapping super fast, how am I gonna take the cuss words out of my lyrics when I already have them memorized? How? I'm gonna stumble on my words in front of all these people on national television. I'm gonna mess up, right? So I'm like, how could you guys do this? And they just didn't have an explanation for me, okay? They also changed the beat that I had planned to use on stage. They changed it the night before I went on stage. Imagine that. I had rehearsed to that beat 2 weeks prior. They changed it, said you can't use this beat. I had to find a whole nother beat that matched the lyrics that I had already wrote for it. I mean, they were literally setting me up. And mind you, they were rude as hell, arrogant, right? But me being a young dude who was desperate at the time for exposure, I was like, I'm just gonna do it. If this is what it takes, I'm gonna let my nuts hang and I'm gonna do it. So right before I go on stage, the people before me did really good. And one of the producers comes up to me and was like, yo, you gotta go up there and Lil Wayne it. You gotta kill it. Everybody's killing it. You gotta kill it. You gotta Lil Wayne it. Mind you, Lil Wayne was the biggest rapper at the time, so he was trying to use him as a reference to try to get in my head. He said, you gotta Lil Wayne it. I said, okay, I'm a Lil Wayne it. Even though y'all did all this bullshit, right, and are setting me up to fail, I'm gonna Lil Wayne it. And I told him that straight up. I was that pissed. Grabbed the mic. They called my name out. I go on stage in front of 10,000 people. Britney's right there. Britney Spears, Ellie Reed, Demi Lovato. All these people are just like looking. What did I do? I killed it. I murdered it. I shut that bitch down. Performance of the night. Killed it. They approved. They said, okay, you made it to the next phase of the show, whatever. Everybody was cheering. It was probably one of the best moments of my life. I walk off stage. I see the producer who basically told me to Lil Wayne it. I shove the microphone in his chest and I go, did I Wayne it? Did I Wayne it? And he's like, yeah, you Wayne'd it. Motherfucker. So, walk off backstage, take off. I felt incredible. Best day of my life. I mean, it was the worst day, but the best day because I actually won, right? I just felt like, this is crazy. I'm going to be huge. A week later, I get a call. They said, yo, you're about to fly to Miami for the next season or the next audition or the next phase of the show or whatever it is, right? You're going to fly to Miami, yada, yada. Cool. I'm getting ready to go to Miami. I'm excited. My parents are excited. Family's like, okay, this is cool. We're all hyped up. I get a call a couple days later saying, hey, you're not going to be on the show anymore. Wait, what? You're not going to be on the show anymore. Why? I don't know what to tell you. You're just not going to be on the show anymore. What do you mean I'm not going to be on the show? I killed it. I won. I made it to the next stage. What do you mean? I have no explanation for you. You're not going to be on the show anymore. Just like that. They completely cut me from the show for no reason. Okay? Well, I know the reason. The reason is that they wanted to make me look stupid. And no matter what they threw in my face, I still came out on top and I murdered it. They didn't want that. They didn't want somebody who went on that stage and murdered it. A rapper, you know what I mean? Because that show's for singers, rappers, dancers, all that shit. They didn't want that, you know? So they put me through all that shit and then for no reason, they just crushed my dreams, right? As a kid, now I don't give a fuck. But as a kid, I mean, I'm sitting there like, wow, they just crushed me, you know? So to say that that was devastating to me would be an understatement. It was very, very, very traumatic for me at the time. It was fucked up, but it taught me a very valuable lesson that, okay, the industry is beyond cutthroat. It's evil. Not saying it's all evil, but there are some very evil elements to the game, right? And if you're not tough enough to endure it, then you're gonna fail. So what did I do? In these 8 years now, we're in 2020, that was in 2012. In these 8 years, I've developed my own fan base, put my own videos online, millions of views, tours, massive cosigns from major artists, built a huge name for myself. 8 years later, another opportunity comes, exact same. Casting producer hits me up, wants me on the show, saying the same thing. You don't have to go through the beginning audition shit. We're gonna put you straight on, basically like straight on TV, right? In a sense. And we're gonna get you on the show. Now, am I gonna do it? Do I feel like I need to do it? Should I do it? First of all, I'm not trying to reflect my bad experience with X Factor on this show, but at the same time, I do feel like I have a lot of faith and I feel like the higher power above puts you through lessons earlier on in your life because he prepares you for bigger things down the line. Now, this opportunity is way bigger than X Factor. It's a bigger show overall. It's only been one season. It's already a bigger show than X Factor. And it's made specifically for rap. It's made for lyricists. So now this opportunity came knocking on my door 8 years later, but I have all this now that I've developed. So why would I get on the show now and quote unquote risk anything going wrong when it's my image on the line? Now, mind you, it's a great show, prides itself on authenticity and all that. That's cool, but I'm not desperate to get on that show. I'm not desperate. I'm not saying that the people who get on that show are desperate. No, I'm just saying for me personally, for my brand and my image, I'm at a whole different point in my career right now. Things are taking off for me. independently without having to require the push from these shows, man, or all this shit. Like, I'm doing well on my own. My bills are paid, man. Like, I'm living good. Like, I'm happy, you know? I'm not in a rush to get to that spot ASAP. Like, yeah, it would be nice to get more exposure, right? I want to be the biggest of the big. We all do. Cool. But I'm also smart and strategic. I want to play it smart like I have been. I'm not trying to just jump the gun on something, you know? And then, because that could hurt me. This show could hurt me. So one thing can go wrong in the show, and then the whole world's going to say, oh, you're that guy that lost that show. You're that guy that just didn't come out on top. I don't want to be the guy who lost that show, or who didn't win on that show, or who looked bad on that show for whatever went down on that show, right? I'm very proud of the reputation I built for myself now. When you say Anilyst, it comes with respect, right? People know, like, yo, he's dope, he's this, he's yada yada. I don't want it to be, oh, that guy that was on that one show. When you hear Anilyst, oh, that guy that was on Rhythm and Flow, the guy who potentially didn't win that show, the guy who potentially looked dumb on that show because this happened. Yeah, I could potentially win the show, right? It's very likely. A lot of you say you're gonna murder it, you'll kill it. I believe I'll win the show, but I also believe that I like to weigh the pros and cons, and I don't gamble. I don't gamble on 8 years of hard work, of doing what I've done now in these 8 years and building up this reputation for myself. All the grind, all the blood, sweat, and tears, man. So for my brand, for my image, I've chosen to not do this show. Like I said, I'm honored, I'm grateful, but I don't need it at all. I'm doing amazing right now, and I'm gonna keep doing amazing, and I wanna say thank you to all my fans who've been supporting me over these years. I'm honored to be at a point in my career to where I can turn down an offer like this and not regret it, and just be like, all right, cool, I'm grateful towards it. I'm very, very humbled, but I'm blessed to say I don't need it. All right, so shout out to Rhythm and Flow, the producer that reached out to me. I don't want to say his name, I'm just gonna keep that out. But shout out to all the contestants from last season. Shout out to all the contestants who are gonna be on this season. I wish you all the best of luck. And most importantly, shout out to all my supporters, all my fans. I love y'all. Listeners forever. Salute.